Carter, the spoilt son of the owner of Baldwin Wines, Margot Baldwin, is sent on a mission to a vineyard to prove his worth. As he tries to adjust to a humble lifestyle, he gets a lot closer to Valentina Espinosa, who's trying to keep the vineyard away from his family's greedy hands. Carter has dozed off in a golf club after partying with two women, who he claims are business associates. While cleaning up, Earl asks him to take his friends away and makes him realize he's late for brunch with his mother. Margot doesn't like an empty glass and asks a waiter to fill it with her usual. Carter rushes home in a hurry but assures his dates he might still go to Vegas with them. Margot spits out her own company wine, since they only sell that but don't drink it. The owner apologizes for the new waiter's mistake and asks him to get a better wine for her. Carter finally turns up with unbelievable excuses and spits out the same wine, which she believes is just punishment for him being late. He doesn't have the analysis of the third quarter numbers like she asked for, and she's losing patience with his disinterest in the business. She wants him to go to Los Santos because the only vineyard there they don't own is finally on the market. The executor needs to sell it by December 24th, and she wants him to find out about their bids. She needs him to prove that he's capable of taking over the company one day and knows something beyond spending her money. He agrees to go, but it's important for him to keep a low profile because any interest from Baldwin Wines is sure to lead to a bidding war. Carter thinks their grapes are horrible, but Margot knows how important this deal is for them since there's another interested party, and they need to outbid them by the 23rd of December. He thinks about staying at a good resort there, but to blend in, she has already booked something appropriate for him. When they notice his ex, Emma, there, Carter tries to hide his face since he broke up with her over text. But she finds him and rants about how humiliating it was to go to their honeymoon in the Bahamas alone and think about his breakup text all the time. He tries to joke about how it would have been worse to be married to him, but she just feels pity for him and is glad she's not with him. She thinks women like her need men and not boys and throws a glass of wine at him. Instead of being apologetic, all Carter can think about is how good it tastes. Margot walks away from this commotion and insists he can't take his private jet. She's arranged for a small car for him, with which he's supposed to do everything to help them acquire Huckabee Vineyard. Valentina feels a little optimistic about the estate that day but realizes she's very late. She wants Fernando to eat something, but he's more interested in a protein shake since he wants to bulk up like his friend's brother. His younger brother Santiago is still in bed, looking at the picture of their dad. He doesn't want to go to a birthday party with Fernando, because he ignores him in front of his friends. Valentina assures him that he can find his own friends there and tries to get him excited about her friend Cindy picking them up. Cindy is happy to drop the boys off but wonders what Valentina will do with that guest house. Carter has reached Los Santos and is heading towards Huckabee Vineyard Estate. He enters the tasting room, where he finds Valentina conducting a meeting about the vineyard being their only source of local grapes in Los Santos where all the wines are produced. She wants everyone present there to find someone who can preserve the facility and keep it away from the greedy Baldwin Wines. Hearing that name, Carter panics and drops something, and claims to just be there for the wine tasting. He apologizes for the interruption and heads out. Santiago is skating towards Carter and falls on the statue of baby Jesus. Carter assures the boys the statue is fine and gives them some tips about skating. After the meeting, Larry compliments Valentina and hopes her client's bid wins. They're surprised they haven't heard from Baldwin Wines yet and hope they're not interested. Larry wants to take her out for dinner, but she makes an excuse about not being in the mood. She notices Carter playing with her boys and introduces herself. He claims to be Carter Goodman, who is trying to search for a place to live in Los Santos. She gives him her card as a real estate agent, but he starts asking questions about the vineyard. She asks if he wants to buy the vineyard, but he laughs it off, insisting that he can never afford it. He claims to be a carpenter who is staying at the horrible Crumbly Cork Motel. She offers him a trade and is willing to let him stay at her guest house for free for a week if he also agrees to repair it. The boys take him to the guest house, which doesn't have a door, and he knows it will need a lot of work. Fernando doesn't believe Carter is a carpenter, but he claims to have many skills. He knows living there is important for his mission, even if he's freezing at night. Valentina apologizes for what he had to go through and promises to bring him something warmer. She's going to meet some real estate clients, but since he seems interested in the winery, she agrees to get some wine for him. She has already paid for the drywall at Walker Hardware and asks him to get it, so he can get started on the guest house. He makes some nervous comment about liking her last name but feels stupid about it when she leaves. He walks into the hardware store to pick up the order for her and claims to be the contractor. Mo Walker takes him to the back but realizes Carter doesn't have a truck to carry the drywall. Mo offers to drop it off himself and understands his situation, since he too exaggerated a few skills when he was younger to impress a beautiful woman. He still asks Carter to check how a drywall works online if he doesn't want to seal himself inside it. When he notices Mo's equipment, he gets curious about what he does. Mo is excited to share that he's a local garagiste who makes wine in a garage. Carter knows he has a good nose for wine, so Mo makes him try the latest one from his label. Carter hesitates and instantly spits it out, and they both know it needs more time to get better. He's still able to correctly identify hibiscus and cherry flavors, so he gives his honest review. Mo is impressed with his nose and offers to help him with the drywall if he agrees to taste some more wines for him. Carter agrees to be more emotionally prepared for the tasting next time and asks him to drop off the drywall before that. Carter is relaxing when he gets a call from his mother asking for an update. He has already found out that there are multiple bidders and he will know who has made the highest bid soon, since he's staying at the house of the realtor in charge, and he is proud of his strategy. He keeps the phone when he hears footsteps, and Santiago wonders why he is not working during the day like a normal adult. Carter informs him about the importance of self-care and asks why he has a snowboard instead of a skateboard. His dad gave the boys snowboards before they were about to go on a trip to Tahoe, and since they might actually go this year, he wants to be prepared. Carter assures him that his dad can find the time for him this year, but learns that he passed away. He instantly feels sorry for Santiago and shares that he lost his dad when he was young too. He knows it gets better and will make him stronger. He also offers to teach him snowboarding in the yard. Carter starts giving him tips about how to get comfortable with the board when Mo arrives with the drywall, and he schedules their practice for the following day. Mo looks at the place and doesn't think it should be too hard to fix the wall. When he offers to help, Carter claims he has done enough research to try this out on his own. He starts working with the tools but finds it very hard to figure out what he needs to do exactly, and almost gives up. He's trying to rest when he hears someone approaching and shoves everything inside to pretend like he's hard at work. Valentina has come to check on him, but he asks about her day to learn more about the vineyard. She has shown houses all day and seems a little awkward about him being shirtless, so he puts one on and justifies his finger getting hurt as part of the job. She offers to keep some boxes in the garage to give him more space. When he notices the stuff there, which belonged to her late husband, Chris, he apologizes about him passing away. She explains that his wine memorabilia was supposed to stay in the guest house, but she needs the rental income now. She also shows him Chris' wine collection from their local garagistes, since he was always passionate about trying all sorts of wines, and knew great wine could come from that valley. She's only a casual drinker but is proud of how all the grapes for these wines were sourced from Huckabee Vineyard. She remembers how all cheap grapes go to Baldwin Wines and wonders why she hasn't heard from them yet about the vineyard sale. Cindy is impressed with how hot Carter is and is upset Valentina is not dating him. They're having a girls' night that day, and Carter excuses himself since he's feeling objectified. She wants to share wine with her while Valentina explains why Carter's shirt was inside out. Cindy wants more wine and wonders if Carter has some, wanting to invite him over. She teases Valentina about having Carter and Larry, and feels like she should at least give one of them a chance. It's been a long time since Valentina has danced or kissed someone, but she's afraid what her boys might think of her dating. She also thinks she's not ready yet. Cindy is a nurse who never partied in nursing school, but after watching so many lives taken, she feels like she needs to make the most of her own. Valentina thinks it's only been a few years since Chris perished, but Cindy reminds her how he used to talk about her and the kids during his chemo treatments. She knows he would want her to be happy. Carter approaches Mo to get more drywall and some doors. He seems clueless, so Mo agrees to help him if he tastes more wine. Carter hates his latest batch too, but agrees to give some details. He still thinks Los Santos only has bad grapes, so there's no hope for the wines. Mo informs him that the bad grapes thing is a myth because Baldwin Wines are terrible winemakers who took good soil and fruit and homogenized it into a very sweet wine. Carter agrees to taste one more if helps him with the drywall. While they're trying to set it up, Mo gives him some useful tips about the wall. Carter asks him about his grapes, which also come from Huckabee Vineyard. He only experiments in his garage, but knows when he's serious about making wine, so he is allowed to use the facilities at the vineyard. Carter wonders what will happen if someone buys it, and finds out that Valentina has already arranged for a collective to take over the vineyard. Santiago is ready for his snowboarding lessons and is impressed they have installed a door too. When Carter is teaching Santiago, Cindy spots Mo and wonders why he's there, when Valentina already has a handyman. She flirts with him and insists he's the real deal. Valentina feels happy watching Carter with Santiago, admitting it's good for him and her to have a man around the house. Cindy is more interested in Mo and wants to try something. Carter is impressed with Santiago's progress and thinks having some snow would be better for his practice. He gets an idea and calls up Mo to ask what he's doing the next day. When Carter comes out of the shower, Valentina again feels embarrassed about catching him shirtless, but offers to help him clear the place. When they bring more stuff to the garage, she feels like she's running out of space. He thinks she should get rid of the wine since he doubts they could be good, and she catches snootiness in his tone. He admits he is a bit of a wine snob, so she decides to open one and try it out with him. She directly drinks it, but Carter shows her what he was taught about how the wine needs to be swirled and sniffed before tasting it. It tastes pretty good, and asks her to try out the same method. She can tell there's cherry and lavender, and also comes up with a story about how the grapes might have been picked by a Frenchman. He teases her about having a specific nose, and she touches his nose too, and feels embarrassed about it. She asks him to admit good wines don't need to be fancy, but he wonders why they aren't in the market if they're so good. She explains how difficult it is to get a wine label out there, especially because their grapes have a bad reputation, because of bargain barrel Baldwin. She also admits she drinks Baldwin wine sometimes, because it tends to hit the right spot. She feels like wines weren't meant to be class dividers, since Dionysus wanted to use it to bring people together to celebrate. He's amused by her theory and thinks she might have a point. She wants to open another bottle, and when they have tasted quite a few, Carter continues to be amazed by how the wines aren't bad. He has learned his lesson for the night, which is that Los Santos actually has good grapes. He also directly asks her about the sale and the collective Mo mentioned. She explains that no local winemaker has the budget to buy the property, so she has managed to get them all to pool together, so they have just enough budget to buy the estate at market value. When he has learned what he wanted, she asks what he understood from that night. He thinks it's important to take chances, and she agrees with that too. She leans in to kiss him, but right before she's about to, she realizes she needs to leave to check on the boys. She thanks him for his tips and he offers to clean up. He notices that one of the wines is from Mo's garage and is impressed that he managed to make a good one. He also comes across a newspaper from 1977 about Holly's Huckabee and his grandpa George Baldwin purchasing a vineyard together in Los Santos. He calls his mother to ask if she knew they were business partners, but she thinks it was a long time ago, and those two didn't have any business sense. He knows the whole community hates Baldwin wines and they're pooling together to save the vineyard. She thinks that's great for the company and wants to know what they're bidding. Carter thinks it doesn't seem like a fair fight and they shouldn't be taking advantage of this situation. But on her insistence, he reveals they just have enough to meet the market price. Margot is thrilled and feels like making this sale will be amazing for them. She wants him to return immediately since his job is done, but he refuses to leave things unfinished there. Mo arrives when Carter is working on the wall, and they start working on their secret project. Carter is now a lot better at carpentry, and they even rope Santiago, Fernando, and Cindy in their plan. They eagerly wait for Valentina to come back, who learns from Larry that someone has invested more money, and things are looking good for the vineyard. But she's shocked when she notices Carter has built a snowboard ramp so the kids can practice there. He gives them a demo, but she feels like it seems too risky for her boys. Mo covers them in bubble wrap, leaving Valentina with no choice but to agree to let them have some fun. The boys start trying it out, and while Fernando falls, Santiago gets it right the first time. She asks Carter awkwardly if he is leaving the next day, and Mo thinks they're just making a simple situation difficult by not confessing their feelings. Cindy agrees and gives her phone number to Mo so he can call her. Carter notices that Mo and Cindy are hitting it off since they're going for drinks and tries to ask Valentina about her plans. She's having a movie night with the boys and Fernando even asks him to join. But Santiago has a problem with Carter joining them and insists movie night is just for the family. Carter gets the hint and Valentina goes to check on Santiago. He's upset because he doesn't want Carter to replace their dad. She assures him that she misses their dad every day and feels lucky to see his face in both her boys. She wants them to understand that when Fernando was born, Chris and her didn't think they could love anyone more till Santiago came along. They realized their hearts doubled and they had double the love to give. She wants them to know there's no limit to love, and letting someone new into their lives does not make their love for their dad, or each other, any lesser. As Carter finishes work on the wall, Valentina and the kids enjoy movie night, and Cindy feels like Mo is lucky to have her since he has a horrible label for a great wine. Carter is ready with his bags and is proud that he finished something he started. He tries to find Valentina and the kids, but since no one is around, he decides to leave a note for her. Mo calls him about the wine festival and doesn't want to hear any excuses about him not being able to come. He needs Carter to be there to experience what the winemakers are doing. Carter is very excited about the display and tries out a wine at a booth. A little girl explains her mom's secret way of making it. Mo thinks Carter is right on time and Valentina reaches there at the same time, looking for Cindy. They know it's a setup and also get a video from Cindy about fun napping her kids. She threatens to make them eat a lot of sugar if Valentina doesn't have a lot of fun. She agrees to have fun with Carter but leaves another fun threatening message for Cindy. She takes Carter to Joe, who was Chris's favorite garagiste, and they decide to take a full bottle and a cheese plate. Carter feels overwhelmed by how passionate everyone seems about their wines. He doesn't think he's passionate about anything since his mom planned his whole life, including who he should marry. He knows he owes the girl an apology, and when she asks about his father, she learns he passed away when Carter was young. He thinks his mother started getting overbearing after that, and he started rebelling. He thinks she's a tough nut that no one can crack. Valentina doesn't believe she can be that bad and is sure a lot of children say that about their mothers. She wonders what her kids will say of her, but Carter is sure she's a great mom. He knows her kids very well and thinks they have a great sense of self, which has been instilled in them by her. He thinks she's great too, and they both share a knowing, flirty look. When she asks for more wine, Carter claims to know a guy. He leaves a message for his mother while she's in a board meeting. She discusses vaguely that she might have a way for them to expand. After the meeting, she listens to Carter's message, where he has asked her not to outbid the collective, because they have a whole culture of wine enthusiasts who depend on Huckabee Estate, and he can't let them take it away. He knows she never cares for his opinion but begs her to do so now. Carter notices Valentina enjoying herself when he's back and asks her to dance with him. She doesn't want to, so he starts awkwardly dancing by himself. She feels the need to rescue him, but when she starts teaching him, he suddenly brings her closer and happens to know the dance really well. They get lost in the sensual dance till she's about to fall, and he kisses her. They're still happy with what they experienced when Mo informs her about Larry looking for her. Larry knows that Baldwin Wines outbid them right at the deadline, and it's too late to increase their bid now. Valentina feels horrible about informing so many people that they have lost the vineyard. She feels like she should have expected them to do something like this, and thinks all their hard work was for nothing. She still doesn't understand how they knew the exact amount to bid, and Carter admits it was him all along. He reveals he is Carter Baldwin, and tries to make Valentina understand that he asked his mother to not bid when he realized how special the community is. She's hurt because she knows everything was a lie and doesn't believe his feelings for her are real. Mo is disappointed in him, but is glad he came clean. He realizes he needs to do something about this and asks his mother to retract the bid. He thinks his grandpa would have been very disappointed with her, but she explains how she was left with a failing company when Carter's dad passed. She stepped up to make it what it is today, and she thinks he needs to face the reality like she did. He's disappointed in her since she doesn't understand how important this is for him. Valentina feels embarrassed about her lack of judgment and doesn't know how she could let Carter get close to her boys. She feels very alone, but Cindy assures her that many people care about her. She's still proud of Valentina for putting herself out there and trying something, and gets her to admit that her kiss with Carter was amazing. Mo let Carter crash with him, but since he lied to Valentina and destroyed the garagistes culture, he thinks Carter deserves to be hit. Carter lets him hit him in the gut, which hurts a lot, but helps him think more clearly. He knows this can't be the end and wants to do anything to make it right. He wants to attack his mother's pride and has the perfect plan. With Santa's help, they sneak into the Baldwin Christmas party. Dressed as Santa, Carter points Mo towards his mother's table. Mo casually asks them if they're enjoying the wine, which Margot claims is a new French wine. Cindy has brought a reluctant Valentina there, and asks her to trust that she has a plan. Santa decides to take the stage and thanks everyone for attending the party. He then takes off his outfit and reveals himself, and assures his mother this will be better than what she has in mind. He knows everyone is familiar with his previous immature nature and apologizes for everything he did. He even apologizes to Emma for breaking her heart when he was supposed to marry her. Moved by his honest speech, she raises her glass to him. He then asks if everyone is enjoying the fancy wine of the night and reveals that it's actually a bold Cabernet from a vineyard that has been newly acquired by Baldwin Wines. Mo rips off the label to reveal his poor decisions: wine for everyone. He thinks his mother was right to acquire the vineyard and starts recounting the story of how she sent him to Los Santos. He describes his time there and all the passionate winemakers he met, and he feels excited about what they've created. He also looks at Valentina when he mentions he fell in love there. He thinks Baldwin Wines is fortunate to have collaborated with the artisan community of Los Santos and announces that they're interested in starting a Baldwin Wines Garagiste collection. The crowd loves this idea, especially the board of directors sitting with Margot. He wants to know what his friends thought about his speech, and is happy to know Valentina loved it. He excuses himself to talk to his mother, who thinks starting a new division of Baldwin Wines seems like a lot of work. He knows he doesn't usually finish what he starts, but now that he has realized what he was running away from, he knows what he wants to do and is willing to take on the responsibility. Margot is sure his dad and grandpa would be very proud of him, and he wonders if this will honor her legacy. She thinks her legacy isn't the business, but him, and is very proud of what he has achieved. She finally tells him she loves him, and when he looks around for Valentina, she asks him to go get his girl. He flirts with Valentina and suggests she should definitely dance in the beautiful dress she is wearing. She teases him about dancing with someone else, but feels like she can make an exception for him. She takes him to the dance floor and kisses him. Carter takes Valentina and the kids for snowboarding and encourages the boys to do what they practiced. Valentina is proud of the work he has done with the boys, and they all enjoy their holiday.